Ahmed hurried along the deserted village road. The moon hid, a sliver of light behind thick clouds. Each step crunched on the gravel, the only sound in the suffocating quiet. The air, thick and heavy, carried the scent of damp earth and something else, something vaguely metallic. He shouldn't have taken this shortcut. His gut churned, a knot of unease tightening with each step. The houses, dark and silent, were spaced further apart now, their windows like vacant eyes. A low growl echoed in the distance, sending a shiver down his spine. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. Tall and gaunt, he was draped in what looked like an old but exquisitely tailored suit, moonlight glinting off the fabric. His smile was wide, too wide, revealing teeth that seemed just a little too sharp. "Lost, friend?" His voice was a low purr. Ahmed hesitated, instinctively recoiling from the stranger. "Just taking a shortcut," he mumbled, his voice a dry rasp. The stranger chuckled, a low, rumbling sound. "A shortcut? Then allow me to offer you a more interesting path." He gestured towards the looming silhouette of a mansion, barely visible against the dark tree line. Hesitant, but inexplicably drawn, Ahmed followed the stranger. The mansion loomed closer, its facade a tapestry of crumbling stone and overgrown ivy. Despite its dilapidated exterior, an ethereal glow emanated from within, casting long, dancing shadows across the overgrown lawn. The stranger pushed open the heavy oak doors, revealing a grand foyer ablaze with light and bustling with activity. Music, a bizarre, discordant melody swirled through the air, punctuated by laughter that seemed to claw its way up from some unseen abyss. Confused, Ahmed scanned the room. People, or rather beings in various states of decay and opulence, mingled, their eyes like glittering jewels in the dim light. They moved with a jerky, unnatural grace, their attention never quite meeting his gaze. The air hung thick with the scent of decay, masked by something cloyingly sweet and nauseating. Ahmed felt a cold sweat prickle his skin. This was not a gathering of the living. This was something else entirely. The stranger ushered him towards a long, elaborately set table groaning under the weight of a feast. Roasted meats glistened, their surfaces slick with an oily sheen. Exotic fruits, their colors impossibly vibrant, sat alongside platters piled high with unidentifiable delicacies. Ahmed's stomach churned. The food, while visually appealing, emanated a putrid odor that made his eyes water. He watched, horrified, as a guest tore into a piece of meat, his teeth elongated and sharp, tearing through flesh with disturbing ease. The stranger chuckled, a low, guttural sound that sent shivers down Ahmed's spine. "Eat, friend. Partake in our hospitality." He gestured towards a plate piled high with something that resembled raw meat, pulsating slightly. Ahmed recoiled, his stomach churning. He stumbled back, bumping into a figure behind him. Turning, he found himself face to face with a woman. Her skin was stretched taut over her bones, her eyes two black pits in her skull. She smiled, revealing a mouthful of needle-like teeth. Panic surged through Ahmed. He had to get out. He pushed past the woman, ignoring her startled hiss, and ran towards the grand staircase. The music seemed to rise in volume, becoming a cacophony that pounded against his eardrums. He scrambled up the stairs, his heart pounding against his ribs. Behind him, he heard the scraping of chairs and the heavy thud of footsteps. They were coming for him. He burst through a door at the end of the hallway, finding himself in a dusty library. He slammed the door shut, fumbling for a lock. The doorknob rattled violently. Desperation surged through him. He spied a window, its glass cracked and dusty. Heaving it open, he squeezed through the narrow opening, ignoring the shards of glass that tore at his clothes. He didn't stop running until he reached the edge of the woods. Collapsing onto the damp earth, he gasped for breath, his chest constricting with terror. He had escaped, but the memory of the mansion and its inhabitants would forever be etched into his mind. From that day forward, Ahmed vowed to never travel alone at night. The memory of the chilling encounter served as a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality.